Hey, what's going on, everybody? Like self, I wanted to make a video today specifically to address, things that are going on in the conscious algorithm. Um, I'm reading this book. I'm a father of 8, possibly 9. Um, so I have to multitask. And this book right here is called Brainwash. I want to address this right here where it says, "Bred to be led." Now, if y'all don't know, I'm rolling crook, but you see I'm wearing red, symbolize power. The problem is we are stuck in some type of algorithm that only allows us to think in a narrow track. We need to broaden our mind, our conscious, and what we are not aware of. Because whatever you're aware of, that's great and that's dandy. But what you're not aware of is very effective because that gives someone else the guns to shoot you because they have something they can do that you're not doing. And that's how it is. In this entertainment business, it's all about surprises and unearthing some things that are not seen. Anyway, like I was saying, we are like in a time in our life where we have to make a conscious decision, and it's about getting this out. This is not an easy thing for any of us to do. Understand that they have people that train harder and practice harder. They don't have to come to your door and say, "Hey, you work for us." It's because of all the things that you consume in your life. You are actually like working for them in a way. So I want to like address several things. For one, if it wasn't for the right race, period, I wouldn't be the person I am and the good-hearted person I am. When I was a kid, before my mom was shot, I used to spend the night over at teacher's house, hang with their kids, eat family dinners with them. In fact, I didn't know what a nigger was until I actually came to the city I live in, Carthage. And I was on the bus. Somebody called me a nigger. It was, somebody looked like me, called me a nigger. And I didn't know what it was. I was like in the 5th or 6th grade. Gotta remember two things. One, I'm hard of hearing. So I don't hear everything everyone else hears, period. And everything takes a little time for me. Despite all that, I love reading and I love doing research. So over the years, I've watched maybe like a million people, literally. I've watched like a million people. I've studied their galaxy, their universes, the way they think. And I always have more and more deeper intellectual questions like, what spawns all this? There was a question like that came up today, and it was about who built the pyramids. I can tell you this about who built the pyramids. Part of me built the pyramids. That's all I can tell you. Part of me built the world that I live in and reside in today. You cannot go backwards in life. You can't touch it. It's not tangible. So it's so much of you that is connected to your past life that you have no idea, and that your conscious part of you has no idea how much connected. And a lot of people that go to war with, not the people that are actually on the battlefield, but the people that are behind the men and women that die behind these wars. They know what the end game, the goal is, and it's the human consciousness. It's a lot of people that do not want to accept the fact that we are slaves. You're a slave to someone you love. If it's your children, if it's your boss, your spouse, your parents, or it's yourself. Either way, or like we all are a slave to something. We are something to every word. Every word can be related to us because every word is a part of us. So I'm trying to like wrap this all in one because that's been my concept for many years. I was watching Kanye West doing his interview, and I'm like, that's my concept. Like, you'll hear me talk all over the wall, but it expands out, but it comes back because my my thing is like the Big Bang Theory. If anything was created, it expands and then it comes back to one. So that's how I feel like our life is. When we're created, we expand and then we come back to one. At the end of this time. So, but anyway, people, I understand that the algorithm, wants us to. I used to think that the algorithm wanted us to grow. And all reality is somebody has to eat and somebody has to die. And that's just the human nature of the reality we live in, the time we live in. And in this reality, it's a dog-eat-dog world. There are so many things that are incorrect in our society, and a lot of people try to overlook it because we have so many, blood feuds that's just stuck in the past. But as I was bringing back to like who built the pyramids, part of me built the pyramids. This right here, as I am, of this flesh right now, did not. But a part of me in my organs came from Africa. I remember when I sent my music. I was doing music, and I sent my music to I think Hot 97. I sent it to Bad Boy Records. And I knew, like I said, even if I don't go, a part of me's going to go. And I'm thinking of that now. So I had blonde hair at the time, and I sent part of my hair. So, and in all reality, it's voodoo. In all reality, I did it to make sure part of me gets to go somewhere, regardless. And it may not make any sense to a normal social mind. But in the world I live in, I was told we had to let go of Western traditions. So like when I read the Bible, when I read the Quran, I look for the ups, down, left, rights, everything that I look at. And it's just so I won't be so dumbfounded or stuck on stupid. So anyway, I told somebody earlier, like, if you know who built the pyramids, then there's gonna be an algorithm. There's gonna be a nigga out there. There's gonna be a crack out there. There's gonna be some hater out there trying to debunk what you believe. And they ain't getting no money for it. You know what they're getting? They're getting attention. They're getting a high. So it's like I stopped smoking weed, right? And I'm gonna get a high from something else. Now I thought about this. I'm like, am I gonna start drinking again, or anything like that? Am I gonna try some hard, elusive? And I said no. I'll tell you this. I had knee surgery in 2011. I had knee surgery in 2011. November 28th. October, it was Thursday, October 28th, 2011. And it was raining that day. They had about 6 officers in there just to deliver this bag that they were going to put in me. And it was heroin, liquid heroin. And so I realized then, like I didn't think about it then, or like I actually thought that was gonna be my last day living because my marriage went to shit, and my ex also came up there with hickeys all on her neck. So everything was going to shit, and I literally thought I was gonna die that day. But as soon as they gave me, started injecting the liquid in me, like everything just started blacking out. I started having these blackout phases, plenty of them. I was driving with my grandmother, and I blacked out. I just took 2 somas. I blacked out, didn't even know it, and the fire truck had came by. My grandmother was doing this, and that's when I realized that I couldn't do prescriptions. And I'm saying that to say this. So when they gave me the heroin, like people become addicts to certain things. I didn't know. I wasn't consciously aware. Like you could see something and it'll just go by, but later on you'll think about it. So I wasn't consciously aware that I had heroin in me. But I kept running into a lot of heroin addicts. When I say a lot of them, one of my baby mama's mom is a heroin addict. And then I remember I met this guy that I worked on a couple of duplexes with. He was a heroin addict for 5 years, and he got clean, and then he owns 6 or 7 duplexes, and they're beautiful. But it was something that was magnetically drawn. So to put this in a shorter than long story, in a conclusion, everything about you, it's like this is you and this is somebody else. You are 2 halves of one tree. And what you really want as a couple is to be one. You want to be able to mesh together, to be able to live in harmony together. And a lot of things in our society are not harmonized. You can go to China, you can go to India, you can go to Europe. Most of the collective whole believe in one concept. Here in America, we have so many religions, so many beliefs, so many bloodshed and backbiting, so much of that going on in our country that it seems really impossible to be able to bring us together and to be one. The truth is, we have to divide the people that do not want to see a 100% success rate in our people. If we accept and love everyone and we can have each other's back, it'll be a greater world. And people say it's not possible because, everybody got something they want. But like I said, how did China do it? How did North Korea do it? What is our problem as an individual that we cannot accept the next person? The food, media, and somebody blabbering about a bunch of shit that ain't got nothing to do with us but telling us to follow them is a real problem. There are so many old heads that, run the show, run the media, and they think what they're doing is the best route to go, and you can't help it. If I was doing something wrong and I literally thought I was doing something right, like I'll give you an example. Like in my mind, when I wake up and it's Sunday morning, I say, I don't want to go to no church. I'm living in one. Guess what? I'm not going to church. Somehow, the universe works with us. Everything is kind of aligned, but it's really up to us as an individual to connect these unconscious, subconscious thoughts with the people around you. Because we all think the same and we all pretty much do the same. We have this spiritual, not even what I call spirit, it's chemicals. everything is chemical and magnetically. Like I said about, when I had the fluid heroin. I wasn't addicted to heroin, but I guess the heroin addicts can feel. And I'm like, they can't see it, but it's energy. It's like Yoda. Feel your power. And, for the fact that, I was around heroin addicts, meth addicts, coke addicts, cigarette addicts every day, and I didn't indulge in cigarettes, heroin, cocaine, meth. I tell you this. One time, I left somebody to go be with somebody. My twin's mom, actually. And I went, and I was actually homeless. I stayed in -4 to 5 degree weather. I had to keep walking around the city until the sun came up to stay warm. All to be with a black queen. So it was funny. So anyway, it was -4 or 5 degrees, and I realized that our thinking is kind of backwards. Like I had $250,000. I had $500,000 twice, and at the time when I had this amount of money, you never see it. You don't ever really see yourself until you step outside from a bird's eye view. And I didn't realize that, there were a lot of things that were aligning and meshing together. And I did realize that whenever I did something that I really didn't like, something told me it was for a greater reason. So, to swarm back to the alignment, and I realized that I can't change everybody, but what I can do is connect with those who think like self. Now, I decided to stop smoking weed. I've been smoking weed since I was 25, 34. That's almost 10 years. If I hadn't started smoking weed, I know I would have been dead 10, 20 times over. So many times I wanted to give up. I remember even before I started smoking, I said to myself in the back room one day, I was like, I know I'm about to go through a lot of hell. But I had no idea the amount of hell I was going to go through. I had no idea that some people cannot survive these types of hell. Some people cannot survive these types of drama. I remember there was a time I was invited to a 2-year-old's birthday party. He was the only 2-year-old. The rest were just gang members. And, like I used to work at a prison. I used to be everywhere in different types of neighborhoods. And naturally, I already knew innately how to handle any situation. I don't fear situations. I don't worry about situations. I just deal with it. So anyway, the girl was like, can you cook something? And she knew I was a chef part-time. So I had 2 jobs at the time, and I was a chef. No, I didn't have 2 jobs at that time. In fact, I'm trying to think, was that after? No, that was before. Yeah, that was before. It was after. After I had I already worked there in the kitchen, and then I moved. Yeah, I moved to Nakusa, and then I came back to Wassa. So anyway, before I moved in that duplex, I told you one of these guys I knew fixed up duplexes on their own. Before I moved into that duplex, I was working 2 jobs, and I was a part-time chef, short cooks. So I went in the kitchen at this apartment, and I started cooking and everything, and whipped up something in like 15 minutes. Man, there was like maybe 15 dudes in there. They rushed all the food or whatever. And, I'm just sitting up there looking at the 2-year-old like, happy birthday, you get to keep your life. So, your mama don't get gang banged while you're in there watching TV. stuff like that. I used to have to watch kids while their parents in the basement shooting up meth, not smoking it, shooting it up, which was, I don't like needles, and that really fucks with me. But you gotta understand, I've been around coke, meth, crack, everything. And speaking of that, right before that incident with the kid, the birthday party, I actually moved in that house for like 2 weeks. But before then, I was, because I just moved back to that city. Got a job like the next day I moved in. And then the funny thing about that was, so the guy that I was staying with, he was on coke, crack. His nephew was actually cooking crack. Like, I would wake up in the middle of the night, this nigga is 15 feet from me cooking crack. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm trying to sleep. You down here smoking up this goddamn room. So, he down there cooking crack and shit. And then the guy I was staying with, he was like, man, you want to try this? And I'm like, man, get that fucking shit away from me, man. I ain't trying that. He like, you gonna try it. But, I'm 6'4". And, he was like, the way he said it taught me so much. Like, because, you got to be careful when you're talking to somebody like me. I'm a very nice, gentle dude, but when I'm angry, only thing you got to protect yourself is a gun. Because I know how to fight. I've been fighting since I was 4. Mixed martial arts, everything. So, and the way that I fight now, I'm not going to allow anyone to hit me here. Any of that is because I learned from a fight a long time ago. Man, don't let nobody even think they gonna fucking put their hands on me. If I get an inch that you may be getting ready to swing at me, ICU, brain injury. That's just with my body. Okay? I don't have to use a gun. I haven't had to use a gun so long. I was in Milwaukee, walking around in the hood every day, looking for gun, looking for in trouble. In fact, I remember, like, I had a page before the Facebook page that I'm on now. I had a page, and one of my baby mamas, got my page. They took down my name, all my pictures. I had like maybe 10,000 pictures, memories. I've had pictures of me in different hoods. And this is what really made me say there are a bunch of niggas out there on this algorithm platform doing what they doing. Because when I was in Milwaukee and I was in the hood, I really went out there and touched some hearts that seem heartless. Which is really dangerous, because I wouldn't want these people that I touch to get all soft on somebody that's gonna put a bullet in their head. That's why really I've kind of stepped back on even talking on a platform because of that responsibility. I used to be a psychic. I predicted 2 things that happened. Aaliyah, I predicted I was going to go where she was at the Redbird Mall, and I was going to walk in there and tell her don't get on the plane. We were in the parking lot, and as soon as we parked the car, my sister says, I want some McDonald's. My stepdad peels off. He's 400 pounds. And I was waiting all day to get to that mall. I saw that day, Leah's. In fact, I even pinpointed the location. I said it was on an island because I saw all this. And then I saw 9/11, and I picked the location. I picked New York. I was like, in fact, I remember vividly. I was thinking okay, there's nothing in New York, but I literally forgot about New York City for some reason. And then on top of that, I wasn't aware that there are Twin Towers or there was lots of people or anything. My mind is a very powerful house. And there are so many entities and spiritual, which are not even spiritual, it's all magnetic. There are people that are drawn to destroying you. There are people that are drawn to helping you. And there are some people that seem like they're helping you, but really they're destroying you. And there's some people that seem like they're destroying you, but they're really helping you. So, anyway, I'll give you another example. So, I got a lot of kids. Each one of my baby mamas got their own story. So, but I'll give you an example of one. So, one, they were like, what are you, Captain Sabo? No, never. In fact, I never, ever, like, I didn't even want this shit in my life. But, one is, is such a beautiful black queen, like, beautiful. Love her natural hair, and I even tell her, like, I hate it when you wear wigs, tracks, whatever that shit is, that mop on your head. She looks straight out of Wakanda. But I love the natural beauty of her. So, and but the whole thing was, this person was surrounded by people, and on top of that, this person is not a hoe. In fact, I was, a person she had been with and hadn't been with nobody in a while. So that's a great woman. And on top of that, she's an old soul. But the thing was, nobody ever told her she was beautiful. Nobody ever told her she's queen. And nobody ever made her feel like really, really worthy. And I really, really felt like she was very worthy. I felt like this person was more beautiful than my ex-wife. And that has never happened to me before. Like, when I met this person, like, I couldn't get her out of my head, period. So, anyway, like, she's like my best friend. And, that's just, like, what I like messing with. Like, she was sipping Hennessy every day. And then, like, there was a lot of people trying to get her on popping pills and shit like that. So, I use the Don Juan effect. And, like, I told her everything, And I told her everything as soon as she woke up, because before she was, every day I saw her, like, she was either drunk or on something, and her eyes were never really open. So I surprised her. Now her eyes are open. She can't do none of that. And some people were gonna be angry with me and all that kind of shit. But I had a conversation, like private conversation with a man. Not no little boy, not no guy that follows a woman and, yeah, he did this, you better go do this. None of that. It's another problem we're having besides this algorithm is there are a bunch of women and men that work with the algorithm and don't even know it consciously. But I had a conversation, I'm like, did you know? Every day. No, and this person did not know that every day, this woman was doing this, that, and the third. But you see her every day. That's just one thing. Then I said another thing. I said, I know what you want. And you gonna get it. So there's nothing to be angry, upset. And I told everyone in front, because I'm used to being around a panelist of people. There's nothing I'm afraid of. There's nothing I'm not used to. And I told him, like, look, I'm not worried about any of that. For one, motherfucker is almost 30. Not 15, not 10. Not no child. And like I said, I saw something deeper. And I went with it. And not only did, when I did this, I noticed something else psychological. Like, it's my baby mama. I love her. And we're friends. The reason why I love her is because of how we mesh. Like, I don't like anyone that's all lovey-dovey or just in some fantasy world. I need somebody that's down to earth, willing to meet you halfway, and don't play no games. You ain't got to be the brightest book in the world, but you got to be trying to learn. And one thing I learned about this individual was like, because she came like when I least expected it, like, and that's just how we're aligned in some other algorithm. And when she came, you know, I remember something that I flipped some coke, and my big homie was like, "Your problem is you got a big heart. So if your girl, somebody call you and say, hey man, we got your kid, you probably do anything, you know, to get it." My big homie was like, if that was me, I'd tell him like, man, do whatever you feel you're gonna do, but I'm gonna come for your whole family. And that's another reason why I stopped smoking, because I'm that nigga. So I don't play. I've been around plenty of situations where some people didn't walk away from the situation. I've been in situations lots of times where people don't walk away from the situation clean. I walk away from the situation clean. You know why? Because I'm nobody's bitch, nobody's pimping me. I'm 6'4". The only way, you know, you can really hurt me now. It used to be, you can hurt me through my kids, you can hurt me through my finances, you can hurt me by making me ill. The only way you can hurt me by keeping me alive as a slave. Because the prison is in the mind. And a lot of people want to get inside your prison just to take all your gold, just to take out all you know, and to leave you out in the desert, deserted, unloved, unwanted. Because this is the type of society we live in. But I just want to say this in closing. I said I'm reading this book called Brainwash, and I'm almost halfway done. I'm not halfway done. I'm almost done with the book. So it's just I don't like. See this here? Reading is a very powerful thing. Reading it makes you rich. It's like working out. When you learn something new, it's like bench pressing. It's pumping you up. And a lot of people watch videos to learn something new, to copycat, to mimic. So I'm not going to get into any details because I know how the algorithm works. I told somebody earlier today, if you knew how the pyramids were built, you wouldn't say it on Facebook. Because there's going to be some nigga out there trying to debunk you and your theory. Fuck them niggas. Fuck them niggas. It's white, black, no matter. You a nigga. It's what a nigga is in my book. You got, it's all in your tone. So you say, when I say you a nigga, this nigga here. You know, it's like Monk. It's all about in the tone. So I got a lot of niggas. Cool niggas. But niggas that get on my nerves, but niggas that don't want you to succeed, don't want you to go nowhere, but they want to like gather all this information so they can have a large following, fan base, crowd, or whatever this shit is. I told y'all, like, I was in Milwaukee and I was actually in the hood. I was actually going door to door. I was actually like helping any and everybody. I didn't care if they had guns on them, gangs all around them. I'm going in here. I'm going over there. I'm doing this because I'm not on no bullshit. I really want to help y'all. It's my attitude. And people can see that. People can sense that. If they sense danger, you know what they gonna do. So I was in Milwaukee, and on top of that, like I was actually filming some shit, and you can hear gunshots. So nothing new, but it was something going on every day or every other day. You know, car wrecks, car chases, shootouts. But that's nothing new. Nothing new for me, at least. You know, I actually felt like I was actually in my little boys in the hood moment. Like I've actually been in those situations, but when I was in Milwaukee, like, that made me feel like I was in LA or some boys in the hood type shit. I mean, it's a society type shit. And I was just really, really ready to get this shit over with. Like just hurry up and take me out if you're not going to use me in the right way. Like I said, the algorithm it's all up on you. And if you decide you want to step it up or you want to step down. I really want to step up. So for the last almost 10 years, I've been broken. I've been broken because I was in love. I actually had a strong belief for illusion. And in all reality, I believe that my children were predestined. One, I do know that I was on the phone with a speaker, a psychic, and she was like, "You're not done. You got more kids to come. I see you with a bunch of kids." I'm like, "No, I don't think so." But then I thought, because I was with a mom chicken, and she, I was with her for over a year, and she just had a baby, which broke my heart, because I was like, only reason why I didn't stay with her, because I'm like, man, you got 1, 2, 4 kids, and you can't have no more kids, whoop de whoop. Well, if I had a baby, and on top of that shit, Leo. Shit, I got a Leo right now. So, yeah, that's on the way. So, and she just had a baby not too long ago. Her and her best friend. So it was like, and this was the thing. So so I was with her brother had just killed himself. I was with her for a year, and then her brother had killed himself, and I was over there like midnight, a little bit after midnight, and then she left, and I had to watch her kids, and she brought his daughter over, and I had to hear this little girl talk about how her dad just blew his brains out. I'm just like trying to think positive. I was trying to tell her, like, just, think of some happy thoughts for your dad. I didn't know how to handle it. I know. I was just like, fuck. Then on top of that, dude's birthday was day before mine. Then on top of that, I was working at Menards at the time. That whole day, I was so depressed. I was so down. I was just like, man, I'm tired of doing this. Because I walk damn near every day. I think I walked because I was trying to save gas. And I was living in Wisconsin, so it's probably like not negative, probably like 15 degrees, 10 degrees. But anyway, I realized, I was saying to myself, when I got off work, why the fuck am I so beat mentally? Why am I so depressed? It's because some part of me unconsciously was beat to the point. Now, this guy was also a Libra. I'm a Libra. I was born October 8th, 1985. Sun sign within the sunlight, I'm a Libra. In past life, the moon, I'm a Leo. And I talk and I work through life like a Gemini because I'm a Libra, Leo, Gemini in these spectrums. And so I was walking and I was just like, man, I'm just feeling fucking beat. Like, I just don't want to live no more. And I've had plenty of those days. And, I was just, I was chilling. I went home, took a shower, and I drove over to her house. And I was just sitting there all night, just feeling like, am I just gonna be like a stepdad? I thought of all this stuff. And then when the phone rang about midnight-ish, I knew what it was. I knew it was bad because ain't nobody calling at this time of night unless it's bad. And then she was like, oh my God, you're kidding. No way. And I was like, shit, somebody did something. And so she left, came back with her daughter or whatever, and what that did to me, like I talk about some people do some good things for you and then, they're bad people. Some people do some bad things and they're good people. But I believe that when, he committed suicide, some spiritual relief came off me, like man, don't you ever think about killing yourself again. So, because that's how powerful it is. Okay? That's just one incident. And like, okay, now I'm not smoking weed. What does that do to the human conscience? There are so many people out there who need my peace, need my happiness to exist. But then again, I always say this. It doesn't matter if you're happy or sad. Things are going to happen anyway. But what really matters is what you speak. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. I'm just saying what really matters. But I do believe that how we think affects everyone in this universe that we live in. Because, even though we live in this limited amount of space, our thoughts have limited amount of space that they can maneuver. And if our thoughts have limited amount of space that they can maneuver, that means, there's no elbow room. So, in my belief, if there's no elbow room and let's say this is you, no elbow room, and you have this negative thought, and you can release some electrical charge that may not affect the person on your left, it may not affect the person on your right, but it can affect that person 4 or 5 down to that person. It's literally like that. And I say this to say this. How do I know that? Because I done had too many people come in my life and speak things that mess with the cycle of the brain. Psychoanalysis, cycle. Psycho is a cycle, and analysis is a reading. And that's what they call psychic reading. So it's not hard to figure out. It's just, we are so dumbed down in education. I'll tell you how I came to this point also. I started reading people like this guy right here. They've done so many researching and so much work that it is only obvious that we can't go and redo their work. But what we can do is take their work and remix it. It's kind of like what these niggas on these algorithms are doing already. They are taking information and then they're remixing it. Instead of getting to the bottom of what the real problems are, they are just remixing history. Not remaking, they're remixing. Come on now. White people, black people, Mexican people. Let me tell y'all something. Who's the real enemy? Everybody. Until you love yourself, until you accept that, this dream that we exist in, all we can do is work on what's in front of us, empower what's around us. And even though I'm in this little bitty tight space, I don't have to be disrespectful. I don't have to use violence. I know how to use verbal jiu-jitsu. I've had many police officers that, man, you should, hop in the academy. I've had plenty of people, want me to come work for them privately. Remember, I was in Matson. I had a navigator, and somebody was getting their Lexus fixed. Like, man, you can make this much money. I'm like, man, I got that already. So, done security. I've been around it all, seen it all. And to end this video, because I've been talking for almost an hour, 15 minutes short of it, I wanted to do this video to talk to those that are trying to actually build. I said, I've been around every color of a person. And I've had friends that would really, 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 really stop breathing for me. And half the time, those friends would do those extremes for us, we don't even respect them like we should, or we don't build with them, and that's a problem. It's a unconscious problem that we're doing that needs to be broken. We need to stop, fucking with people that actually don't want to do nothing. You see this house that I'm living in, it's not my house. It's my mom's house. You see those drywall right here? See 2x4s? I put them in there. It wasn't hard. It's just I don't have all the things I need, tools, financially, mentally, to do what I need to do. And I always work with what I got. It's tattooed. I did it myself. I work with what I got. MC life. So I work with what I got. And a lot of people are like, damn, that's tight. That's nice. I like that. I wish I could think of something like that. I wish you take that down so I can do something better. That's what a lot of people mentality is. I gotta say this before I get out of here. Like, a lot of people don't realize that brainwashing is something that is injected. First of all, to watch something, you gotta be able to move and shake it up a little bit. And I'm only trying to not rattle your cage. I'm trying to get you to wiggle out of that little box you're in, to realize there's so much underlying and so much that we're not doing or not seeing. So much that we're not agreeing with is because we're not one, or we're not together, or we're divided, and the country is full of, spiritual disconnect. We got half of the population eating meat, half of the population eating no meat. You got half of the population fucking children. You got half of the population fucking old folks. It's a bunch of division and a bunch of confusion. It's not one. And that's the reason why we have most of the problems we have. I look at the landmass and I see all the division, like Texas divided from Louisiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Arkansas, etc., California, Arizona, all that is separated. But I came to a term with myself that, Texas rep that region. But, I'm like 40 miles from Louisiana. I love Louisiana, so TL, I love it, I'm in between Dallas and Shreveport, and so I live in the country, and if I need to go to the city, I just drive for 30 minutes, and, I go to the mall, I go to the club, I can go out to eat, I can take my girl out anywhere. We can get an Uber, walk around, go get in a hotel, do anything. It's 40 miles from here. So my whole purpose is, for that comment, I don't look at, us as divided individuals. On every aspect, we have to, stop dividing and start being one. And, I'm just thankful that, I come to a conclusion in my life that nothing matters. If people want to destroy people, somebody may try to destroy my life. What matters is coming together, bridging our differences and our opinions, and becoming one family. Because if we don't stop, you're just going to allow foreigners to keep coming in. And what is it about a foreign object that sits in your body? It becomes destructive, right? It becomes destructive. If you got a foreign object. And we have a lot of foreign objects. A lot of people want to say this and that and the third about slavery, Arabs, Europeans, blacks. You are here and alive at this very second. You can be gone 5 seconds from my next word. Life is short, long, and bittersweet. I try to tell people this. If we don't do something about it, you're going to leave your kids and your grandkids in a situation, and I don't want to have a generation full of dead broke babies. I know that I'm wealthy, and I ask the universe, like, why'd you give me all this for me to not be able to take care of it? And the universe wanted me to see things from another perspective, because I was looking at things from a monetary perspective. I was looking at things from, the way everyone else was taught. And the way that I look at it is like, I've been around a lot of Moor brothers, been around a lot of African brothers, and the more people talk, the more I realize what's going on. And a lot of people are like, man, he gonna get a fizz, he gonna join the Moors and yada yada yada, this, that, and third. But a lot of people didn't see what I saw. I see through the eyes of God. I see people's comments. I see and people say things, don't even realize how effective it is, and what they're doing and what they're showing. And if I ask someone a question and I feel like it's game, look, I worked at the prison, so you ain't gonna fuck me over no bullshit. And I'm not gonna just go with something because it feels right. I'm gonna go with something to make sure it is right. A feeling is a feeling, but if it ain't what you need, I don't care how good the feeling is, it's bad for you. So in closing, I say all to say this. There are like so many people out there on this media platform that hype up a lot of shit. I understand that you gotta motivate the world and all that, but a lot of people don't realize that you are not helping. I lost everything. I've had a lot in my life, but I remain helpful. You see me as I am, as you are. So, if I say anything that's, derailing towards your process toward greatness, then I do apologize. But I see so much games, like all you see on TV is advertisements. Buy this. Why don't the fuck they want us to build? I don't hear no commercials about, hey, let's build, let's be successful as one whole country. All the money spent on fast food, entertainment, hair products, all that money that we spend in one annual year could, relieve us from some type of debt that we owe, that I don't even believe we owe. But, if we can just stop doing everything that we've been doing for the last 10, 15, 20 years, which is supporting, fast food, supporting, you go shopping and stuff, but you go on shopping for work. Half of you go shopping for clothes and supplies for work. Not to go out and meet people, not to go have family events, but for work. And half of us, just work and keep our mentality on someone else's business. And we're not in the business of taking care of ourselves as a whole. This country is suffering from so much division. This country is suffering from lack of respect, integrity. I can see so many people that got their asshole ripped open for a paycheck, or who got their asshole ripped open uh, uh, and didn't want that to happen to them. And you know how much negative charge that is in our universe? Like, people actually don't believe, like, it's like a fart. When you do something to somebody, when you get out loud and you get all crunk, you're releasing electricity, you're releasing energy. And if the politicians were really, heroes and stuff, we wouldn't be having no, child molestation issues, or we wouldn't be having no rape issues. We wouldn't even be having no gun issues, because people only stop stuff when it's related to their family or related to someone they love. Nobody really loves you like that to stop this as a whole, because we can't. How do I know that? People elected Donald Trump. You can do anything you want to in and under a certain amount of range. Like, literally, like one day I told my mom, I said, okay, you want me to stop smoking weed? She said, I'd rather you drink than smoke weed. Then she told me she'd rather me smoke cigarettes. So I got drunk one day. To the point where it scared me, like, because I needed to see my mother's face. And I'm like, so you like what you see? And no, she didn't like what she saw. I didn't like what I saw. Because, I can't control myself. When I was on somas and stuff, I can't control myself, because you can wake up with blood on your hands. You can wake up with your dick all dirty. Don't even know how I got dirty. You can wake up dead. So I know with, cannabis, I'm just going to slow down. I'm just going to do less than speed limit. And I'm just going to try my best to stay in my lane. The fuck is wrong with that? And another thing, the cop that arrested me because, he wanted me, but he couldn't do nothing. I'm going to fuck him up. Arrested me for half a gram. Don't try to tell me I gotta pay $750. I ain't paying y'all bitches shit. And I went straight up to the judge's face and said this case is gonna get dismissed. So I gotta go to court on the 7th. Again, they tried to flip it. Said I was gonna go in February, but I just got a letter saying on the 7th, and I'm gonna go to court and I'm gonna say, look, well, one, I'm gonna leave. I'm not staying in Texas. I'm not gonna stay around a bunch of bullshit. I gotta get stuff done, So stop smoking weed. But actually, when I go to court, wasn't even supposed to be that. Really, it was half a gram, and I wasn't gonna let no female take no charge. If you know me, you know. But half a gram, yeah, me, I'm big boy. Half a gram. They call it half a gram. And they talking about 750. Like, bitch, does this look like some pounds to you? You catch me with some goddamn peas. I understand. You ain't catch me with shit. So fuck you. I ain't paying nothing. And so that's my attitude. And when you go into court, you make sure you go in as a man, because they're gonna try to treat you like a potato or a dog on a conveyor belt, and accept this and accept that. Don't you sound and look evil, you bitch ass, mark ass prosecutor. White people, y'all in the courthouse, man, real, I will find your address. Because you're not a gangster. These motherfuckers be protected behind guns and protected behind more guns. That's why they don't give a fuck about you. That's why they don't mind enslaving you. But I do, and I told them, for one, you don't want me in the prison because I will fuck up your whole world. With that being said, people, this is my conclusion. I gave y'all 1 hour. Byron O, DJ Lax, the show, the wizard, in the room, in the building. I thank y'all for at least watching half of it, because I know y'all got stuff to do. I don't have time to be watching this. And 1 hour of your time is, some shit you could have been doing for your kids. My kids are with my cousin getting their hair done, and let me get a break. Mom's sick, has cancer, You know, baby mama's calling, yip yapping in the third, but I'm good. I love y'all. Be safe.